Might fly today. Radio. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So, I think I figured out the problem with the motors or the controller, the receiver. So I think it works now because I literally just did it 5 minutes ago. And what I did was, where is it at? If I can find it. If I can find it. I bought a USB to UART. If I can find it somewhere. Lost it. USB to UART converter, or whatever it's called. And basically, I converted it right there. This guy. This guy right here. You guys can't even see anything. Need a ring light or something. So yeah. And I got a solid light after, so I think it's paired with my controller. So basically I just need to solder this back on. Solder the board, the wires back on here, and we should be good. Connect my propellers and test it. If all goes well. If all goes well. Let's hope all goes well. So yeah, I'm gonna solder this back on real quick. And we'll go from there. Here you go. Alright. Soldering iron, heat up. This is way too high. Oh, it makes it a lot brighter if you just take off the cap. Here we go. Alright. Cool. Soldering iron's heating up. Let's get our wires back. These little bitty wires. I need my so yellow is RX, whites to TX. Yellow to RX, white to TX. RX is the last one. So yellow, white, yellow to RX, white to TX. Yellow to RX, white to TX, and 5-volt ground. Yellow RX, white TX. Yellow to RX, white to TX. I need some flux. Yellow to RX, white to TX. RX is the last one, so yellow is going first. All right, I think that's it. Um, yeah. Okay. Cool. So now, if I put it in, plug it in, and power it up, let's see if we have a connection. It's on UART2 as well, if I recall. It's this guy over here. Cool. That looks soldered to me. There's a lot of flux on there, but it's fine. Not really. Cool. All right, let's plug it in and see if I actually get a signal when I put in my receiver. Power on the receiver or the controller. Plug in our ESC. I mean our flight controller. And we're blinking. And we're solid blue. So hopefully that means nothing. It's not working. What? I'm about to give up, dude. This is crazy. It's not working. I don't get it. We're on UART2, if I recall, right? Yes. Receiver. It works. Hey, what's up, bro? Oh my, long time. It's been a long time, bro. Welcome back. Long time since the what was I even doing? I forgot the streams. The shit, just the studying streams, I guess. Yeah. What's up, bro? It works. We have signal from our controller. 10 years later. Yeah, just studying. That's what's up. Well, the semester is over, so I decided to, you know, build a little drone, or really just assemble a drone, solder and all that. So yeah. How you been, man? How's everything? Did you ever go to AMP school? I think it was what you said. Oh no, was it flight school? Damn, I don't remember. It's been good, man. Semester is over. Like I said, I just over. It ended December 12th. So right now I'm just kind of messing around till I travel. Oh yeah, you're still on the wait list. Yeah, that sucks. Just keep holding on, dog. We'll get there. Was it AMP school or flight school? Because I know we were talking about it, but I'm pretty sure it was AMP, right? Or you wanted to be a yeah, AMP. Ah, okay. Yeah. That's what's up, bro. Hell yeah, just keep at it, dog. I want to go back to flight school so bad, bro. You don't even know. I miss it. Oh. Should be able to start in June. Still need to take an introduction to flight. What is that? What is that? Like your oh, you mean like a discovery flight? Or is that what you're talking about? Or something else? Like where they take you up with an instructor in the plane? Oh, okay, yeah. I remember I just did mine. When I literally just did that like 2 months before I actually even started flight school. And then I was on a wait list. Well, I wasn't really on a wait list at Chenault, but I remember I went to American Flyers, I think it's called. That's where I went first, and it was like they put me on a wait list, so I just never went there. I was trying to get started like yesterday, and they're telling me, oh, they're still 6 months out from the next class. I'm like, yeah, I'm not waiting. So I just went to Chenault. I was like, yeah, we can get you in the next day. Come on, show up. Like, okay, that's cool though. Yeah. All right. Um, cool. I think we are good. Yeah. For profit. Yeah. Good old aviation. Yeah. Why is the throttle starting from 989? Pay more for lesser education. Yeah. I know Chanel just opened one. I don't know how it's going or how they're doing, how business is for them. But I don't know. Their flight school was good to me. So, I mean, it was still expensive, granted, but felt like you got your money's worth, or like they weren't trying to, finesse you. Some of these other schools, they're gonna just trying to finesse you, trying to take as much money as possible. Uh, Actually, I need to put that in first. Yeah, yeah. A lot of them are. You gotta be extra careful. A lot of them are. I think I'm good to mount this back on. UTA, hey, it's good, man. I just finished my first semester there. Walked away with 3 A's. I mean, I was taking 6 classes. I walked away with 5 A's and a B, so I can't really complain. It was fun. Met some cool people. Uh, yeah, about as expected. Granted, I don't even really like to go out, but I like to be at home. But it was still fun. I went out a couple times and stuff like that. Can't complain. I'll be back next semester in 3 weeks. What, 4 weeks? Yeah, yeah. It was a good first semester though, as an engineering student. Yeah. Can't complain. Lost my gaskets. Uh, lost them. I lost them. Uno más. Oh, there it is. I was also working at Home Depot. I was working part time though, so it was a good. It was a lot. I'm not even gonna lie, because 6 classes is a lot. But I was working about 20, 25 hours a week, 20 to 25 hours every week, as well as going to school. And it felt like a lot. So I can't imagine people who are working 40 hours and going to school. So more power to them, because I don't think I could do it. Yeah, I felt like I didn't have time. I'd just go from school, go to work. If I'd have events at school, I'd just go to that. I was getting to school at like 8 a.m. and I was going home at like 9 p.m. And it got tiring, dude. Like it's very tiring. And I had a 30-minute drive from school as well, which isn't that bad, but when all the time adds up, you feel like, okay, I just wish I lived right next to campus. Yeah. So I'll do it again. I should be moving in April, closer to campus. So there's that. It's better at least. Yeah, it's Dallas. Hopefully when I move, it's not as bad. Obviously, I'll be in Arlington then, but yeah, better, better. Hey, at least I'm not working at Amazon. Doing that package delivery while going to school because that would have just killed me. I would have just quit. Home Depot isn't that bad. It's tolerable. Make sure you pick a good place. Yeah. Well, it's just they have a bunch of apartments like right next to campus. It's just one of those, like basically student housing, but not really because it's off campus. Yeah. Honestly, as long as I just have a roof and I'm chilling. 90% of the time I'm gonna be on campus anyway. As long as I have somewhere to sleep, somewhere to cook my food, just don't break into my car and all that. Well, there's nothing in my car. It's just expensive to replace my window. But no, we're good. Did you stay in Dallas? I forgot. Oh yeah, driver helper. Yeah, you told me that last time. Were you in Dallas area or no? Or you in Conroe, Houston area? Oh yeah, you live in Dallas? Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I haven't really done anything here. I've been here since what, March, May of this year. So for computer engineering, hell yeah, man. You should have. Well, yeah, but you should have done aerospace engineer. I don't know. I did computer science for what 2.5 years, 2 years. I didn't really like it. That's just me. I just never really liked it. Like having a life, yeah, that's no fun. Having a life is no fun. This is my life. This is fun to me, like doing stuff like this. Like this is how I have fun. So I guess that's why I like it. I don't know. Guess a lot of people don't have fun this way. Like, I'd rather do this than go out with friends or something, if that makes sense. Not to sound like, yeah, it's school's only a year. Yeah, that's what's up. You're right. I still got probably about 2.5 years at UTA. So compared to only a year, that's pretty good. Get out, start making some actual money. Yeah, I heard the AMP pay is good. I was looking into it. I think I remember telling you that last time. After I got done with, well, after I got my private, I was just looking for ways, basically, just to keep being around planes till I could go back and do my instrument and all that. But so I looked at that. I definitely was looking at becoming going to AMP, so looking at UTI and all that maintenance aviation school. But if you were gonna go to like a flight school for AMP, it was gonna be about the same price as going to just a regular flight school. No weather in Dallas. It didn't rain over here yesterday. It was just windy, I think. Yeah, it was just windy out here, and it was hot. Like a week ago, it was freezing cold. Yeah, it was hot. Yeah, yeah. Which is just the weather is bipolar, bro. You don't know what he wants. You can get time to adjust and getting it done. Yeah, yeah. Does UPS do like Amazon? Like you get a certain amount of stops, like 180 and all that? Cause I remember that shit used to kill me, bro. I was getting 200 stops for 8 hours in Amazon, and they telling me you'll take a 30-minute break. I'm like, if I take a 30-minute break, I'm gonna work from 11 to 11, and they be crying like yelling for you to come back on time. Like if you tell me to take a break, I'm not gonna could be back on time. There's two of y'all though. Yeah, they used to give us that tiny van, little ass van with 180 packages in there, bro. That shit was terrible. In the summertime, the AC wouldn't even work. Let me see. I think I took a picture of that shit, bro. One of the days, one of my last weeks there, that shit just pissed me off, dude. It's terrible. Nah, I don't have it. Full truck, literally just a bunch of those blue, red, and green Amazon boxes. Yeah, yeah, they don't. Yeah, pay is also terrible. Yeah, that's what's up. Sounds like it's a lot better than Amazon for sure. Oh yeah, you get a time and a half on. Wow. Yeah, that's way better. It's ridiculous. Amazon, they don't even want you to get overtime. If they see you're getting overtime, they're gonna send somebody to come get you, come rescue you. Terrible. All right, let's see what this does. If it shorts, if it doesn't short, if it works. Yeah, have to work 6 days. Mm-mm. All right. Well, you have to work 6 hours at. I think I just froze my camera. It don't work anymore. Oh well. Amazon was paying I think 21.50 or 21.50 about. Yeah. I don't know why that happens. This camera. Yeah. I killed the camera. Oh well. Yeah, 20 about 21, 22.50. Or no, 21.50. Yeah, for sure. Which was probably the most I've ever made in any job. It's kind of, yeah. But like it was not worth it at all because you were basically probably didn't even charge the battery. Yeah. Why we be throwing it's like somebody gets you to deliver water, we throw that shit on the floor. You're not trying to deal with all that, bro. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think I got this to work. I'm just making a quadcopter. It's a little drone. Yeah, I don't know why my camera froze, bro. That's interesting. I'm just making a. No, it's the. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I plug in the quadcopter to the computer, it freezes. So, what is that sound? Bro, what the heck? No, bro. It's not going at all. Literally. Like the first time, or like yesterday, well, not only I messed up in all the solder joints, and then yesterday my receiver literally got fried, so I had to buy one of these little things to kind of like realive it, basically. And now it won't even work. So I don't know what I'm doing. Now it's just like making a static noise. I don't. This is ridiculous, bro. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I need to build a rocket. I think I need to do a regular plane first though. After this, I need to do a regular RC plane made out of like foam, and then we can do a rocket. I'm gonna try to YouTube this, bro, because I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, bro. Beta flight setup.
Leaving that prop on very loose, I will momentarily arm the
You buy everything
quad.
separately. So
Arm the
flight
quad. So you
controller.
have
The
to
only I bought
unhook
the
the nose
frame, bought
right
the
to be
battery,
able to
bought the
arm it,
motors, and I had to like wire
and
everything
just
basically.
momentarily arming it, and it will make that prop spin around in a certain direction. Some of them you will need for this tutorial. So get there, and you see the quad automatically stopped flipping around right here. If you see calibrate accelerometer grayed out right here, it means that the accelerometer is
Yeah.
not checked on inside the
And I had to
configuration.
solder everything together
And
with
we're
the
just going to go
soldering
ahead and
iron, but
enable the
that was the
accelerometer.
hardest part.
Go to the configuration tab, 2 tabs down, and look for system configuration. Turn on the accelerometer. You don't need to turn on barometer or magnometer. Go ahead and save and reboot. And right now we're working on this quad without having a battery
Is it
plugged in.
cheaper?
So at this point,
So far it hasn't been. But that's because I bought a lot of there's like a lot of first time equipment I bought that I had to have in order for it to work. If I want to make another one or if I want to make like a different type of, you know, flying object, then it's probably going to be cheaper next time around. Because, you know, this initial cost, basically. Like, I have to buy certain stuff. For example, I didn't have this mat. I had to buy the mat, you know? Or like the motors, the soldering iron, the heat shrink, solder, flux, capacitors, stuff like that I had to buy. So yeah, it was not cheaper so far. Yeah. This is probably you're looking at like $400 right now, which is kind of sad. Yeah, you're looking at about probably like 400 and some dollars right on this table. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, you can exactly. You can just take it off and reuse it, assuming I don't crash and destroy everything.
You don't need to plug in your battery. We'll get to that a little bit later. So make sure that your quad is on a stable and level surface. If it looks like it's a little bit off on this screen and the setup screen, that means you need to calibrate the
Yeah.
accelerometer. So we're going to go ahead
Yeah.
and calibrate accelerometer. We're not going to move the quad. Now that's nice and level. And what I want you to do now is take your quad, turn it towards you with the back facing you, and you're going to click Reset Z Axis. Once you do that, it will bring the quad rear facing you. So
Oh
you're going
shit.
to tilt it backwards first, tilt it forward, left, and right. So we're going to do this with every single quad you do setup for, and that will be one of the first things you do. So that all looks good. Every single axis is turning the right way. If it turns the wrong way when you test this on the screen, that means that your flight controller is likely turned to 90 degrees or 180 degrees, and you can reconfigure that in the configurator, but we'll go down that road a little bit later. So the next thing we need to do is go to ports.
Yeah,
You
I'm
need to
trying.
see which port your receiver is wired up to. Now, this can be the part of this tutorial that's
I have
really confusing
literally.
for some
I've watched
people.
a
So I'm
whole
going to try
bunch
to
of them.
simplify this
And
as
if you go to
best
my
I can.
history,
Depending on what type of receiver you have too, if it's a serial style receiver, you're going to have to turn on the serial RX, whichever UART is on right here inside Betaflight. So I know that my receiver is wired up to UART2. So I'm going to come over here, serial RX. I'm going to turn that on.
come
Go ahead
on,
and
bro.
save and reboot you to whichever type of receiver you have built in. Sometimes there are ELRS ones as well. You can select Express LRS for that if you are using a built-in Express ELRS receiver.
Is that even on there?
On your flight controller. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to
This
get
was a
out
year ago.
SPI RX because most people are using serial UART style receivers, and right now I have TBS Crossfire on there, so I'm going to select CRSF in this next tab here, serial receiver provider.
I know.
And
Make
the
it look,
same thing
man.
for
I thought it
ELRS
was gonna be
receivers.
easy too. This is probably. I think I've streamed for like a total of like maybe it might work today. I think I've streamed for a total of maybe what 20 hours so far, and that's just on stream working on it. Off stream, I've also been working on it, so I
ELRS,
think we
and
can
you're
get
going
it
to
to work.
select
It doesn't. It's not
CRSF,
that
it's the
bad
same.
yet.
So
We'll
now
see.
we can
Except
restart.
I fried something,
But
then
before we
probably
do that,
not.
if you're using something like a FreeSky, say an S-Bus style receiver, you want to select S-Bus down here for the FreeSky
Alright,
type
bro,
of
come on.
ports. So we're going to go ahead and select CRSF next, again, because we have TBS Crossfire, and we're going to go ahead and save and
Might as well
reboot.
turn off my camera
And
since it's not gonna
now
work.
we're going to go to the ports. We're going to double check that. UART2 is on. So if at this point you go down to the receiver and something's not moving or it looks like this on the screen, what I want you to do is go ahead and scroll down to where it says channel map. Select this and go down and just try a few of these here. We're going to select AETR. You can see that the default was not matching up. So we're going to save right there. And you see the quad automatically stopped flipping around. And now it seems to be right. We can check our sticks by grabbing the radio. If we move the roll stick to the right, you should see that roll on the top bar go all the way to the right and go left, just like that, okay? Now we're gonna do pitch, should go up and down just like that. And then for yaw, left and right should look like that, and throttle should be just like that. So AET, AERT right there from the top to the bottom there, and our channel map is set to AETR. Now, I have done this manually inside the radio, and you don't need to do that now with Betaflight because you can
Come
just
on,
change
bro.
it right here in the channel map.
Pre-flight
So make
checklist,
sure all
man.
those are moving.
If
And
this thing
also at this point, you
crash,
should
I
have
don't know
set
what
up a couple
I'm just gonna
switches.
go on
That's a
Amazon and
whole
start requesting
different
refunds.
type of video. I'm going to show you how to set up some
Tell them it
modes in
wasn't
this video
working.
because
Try
we
to
are
clean it
doing
up as best as I
Betaflight
can and
setup.
send
So
it
we're going
back.
to go ahead now and save different right there from the top to the bottom there, and our channel map is set to AETR. Now, I have done this manually inside the radio, and you don't need to do that now with Betaflight because you can just change it right here in the channel map. So make sure all those are moving, and also at this point you should have set up a couple switches. That's a whole different type of video. I'm going to show you how to set up some modes in this video because we are doing Betaflight setup.
Come
so
on.
we're going to go ahead now and save, and you should see things moving now. If you don't, a great tip for you is to figure out which your receiver is, your signal wires are like that I soldered it to. Yes. Now you're gonna scroll down to RX lost and RX set right here, D-Shot beacon configuration. I like to turn that on because what that is an ESC style beeper. Some quad that you get may not come with a physical beeper. So we're gonna go ahead and save and reboot there. Now we're gonna come back out and back in. And also, I should have said this in the very beginning, but up in the very top right-hand corner, make sure that Enable Expert Mode is checked on because you won't see a lot of these columns on the left show up. Some of them you will need for this tutorial. So go ahead and Enable Expert Mode.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back down to Configuration again, and we're going to scroll down.
They're gonna come.
Army.
Well, if only if they had to come pick it up, come pick the
180
return up
right
for me.
here. So I'm gonna just
But they don't have to come get the return. I gotta take it to Whole Foods or
Some of them you will
USPS or
need
something.
for this
UPS.
tutorial. So go ahead and enable expert mode there.
Imagine if they had to actually come pick it up every time. That would have been good. I just order stuff for fun and return it, just to mess with them.
I'm gonna go back down.
Especially my DSP, because I think the DSP I worked for, I think they're the ones who delivered to my apartments.
Down to configuration again, and we're gonna scroll down till we see arming. I want you to set arming to 180 right here. So I'm gonna just set it.
Fuck is arming? 180. Maybe alright. Amazon, they like money too much. I just spent $400. They'll be alright. Oh my.
We're celebrating the season. Foot Locker, we got you.
Welcome to the Drone
Bro.
Guys channel. We do lots of tutorials. It seems to be right here. So I'm gonna just set it, and that will allow us to do things like turtle mode. If it's on 25, you need to set it to 180 for turtle mode to be able to work. Now air mode is checked, that is good. If you have GPS, you're gonna turn that on. That's kind of a whole different tutorial. And this is just basic Betaflight for you to get your quad flying. LED strips on. OSD, we need to have that turned on. We don't have to have soft zero on for this type of receiver setup. And everything over here in the beeper configuration, this is totally up to you. All this stuff right here is usually checked on. I'm gonna leave that all on and go ahead and save and reboot. Now again, go back to the configuration tab. If you had your quad moving the wrong direction, like I mentioned earlier in the setup, this is where you can change.
Are you kidding me? Chat GPT, bro. Do you want to see my Chat GPT, bro? I've been talking to this motherfucker for years. Look at this. Desolder from ESC. ESC. This is basically just talking to how I can fix the drone. The whole time. Literally. It was not working. Here's another one. Literally. Literally, bro. It has not been going good. Then I told it to add the entire price of all the drones. Like how much I've spent, basically. I asked it to add it. Look at how much, look at everything I bought, dude. The most expensive one was what? The $70 ESC and flight controller? $406 so far. Yeah. Yep.
The flight controller align. This is totally up to you. All this stuff right here is usually checked on. I'm gonna leave that all on and go ahead and save and reboot. Now again, like go back to the configuration tab. If you had your quad moving the wrong direction, like I mentioned earlier in the setup, this is where you can change the flight controller alignment. So go to board and sensor alignment. Roll is pitch and yaw by degrees. So say that your quad is, your flight controller is turned 90 degrees, you would need to turn it back to 0 on the yaw axis. If it's turned on the horizontal, say left to right, where it's turned around 180. And what you do is you're going to flip from say -90 to 0 to 180. So let's go ahead and go to power and battery. On this one, we want to have onboard ADC set so that we have current battery voltage
Yeah,
showing up on the
yeah.
screen.
I'm using a free version
As
too.
well
That's the
as
crazy part.
here's
So
the
every
trick
day I
as
just
well.
run out
If
of
you
space. It's always like you reach your limit after asking like what 25 questions or something. You reach
turn
your
on your
limit.
OSD and you see that your battery voltage is wrong, you can adjust it in the voltage meter values right here. So on the showing up on the screen, as well as if here's a tip as well. If you turn on your OSD and you see that your battery voltage is wrong, you can adjust it in the voltage meter
I
values.
just can't like I think I've done everything right, but it's just not kicking on. So I'm just trying to see maybe I haven't set it up right because this is basically just set up. So
Right
after
here.
this
So
video, if it still
on
doesn't
the
come on,
scale
then
right here, it says
something is
110
wrong.
right now. Now I can adjust this up and down here, just moving it up and down with the arrows, and you will see the OSD change. Now it helps to have a battery.
No, basically I'm just trying to set up the software now in the flight controller. Yeah. Make sure it's good.
Checker plugged into your current voltage on your batteries tab right here, which is the balance port. So plugging in a battery checker here will show you the actual voltage of this battery, and once you calibrate it to Betaflight, you'll see the current voltage will be calibrated to your batteries. So that's super important. I'm going to leave that at 110 right there, and I'm going to press save. And minimum cell voltage, that usually is about 3.5. See, if you go much below 3.5 on LiPos, it will start to damage. So it's going to give me minimum cell voltage, maximum cell voltage is at 4.3, depending on whether you have LIHV or regular. Now we're going to be important. I'm going to leave that at 110 right there, and I'm going to press save. And minimum cell voltage, that usually is about 3.5. See, if you go much below 3.5 on LiPos, it will start to damage. So it's going to give me minimum cell voltage, maximum cell voltage is at 4.3, depending on whether you have LIHV or regular. Now we're going to go down to failsafe, and you always want to have failsafe set to whether you have LIHV or regular. Now we're going to go down to failsafe.
Yeah. Hardware over software. Actually, it's probably easier to handle hardware on this stupid. Yeah. At least it can fucking. I don't know. I know I soldered something wrong. I just take it off. And this, I don't even know what I did wrong. Everything looks like it's fine. It's probably a hardware issue at the end of the day. It just means I didn't connect something right. Let me see if I can. What? Warning cell voltage. I don't even know what that is. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave these because I don't even know what I'm doing for real.
Safe, and you always want to have failsafe set to drop right here, so that's good. Presets, it depends on which type of goggles you're using. If you're using HD, say something like DJI goggles, or you're using the Avatar HD, you can select this right here, and this right here will help your OSD show up inside your goggles if you're not getting it with the standard setup
Hurry up,
for
bro.
Betaflight settings. Now, if you are on a version of Betaflight, if your flight controller has a version of firmware on there from say 2022 or 2021, maybe it's an older flight controller, this may not show up. You may have to update your firmware to get some of these newer presets for HD OSD to show up. So very important that you might have to actually update your quad now, the quad's firmware. So we're going to go down to modes now. We're going to go ahead and get into modes here. Now, usually I like to set this flat switch on my boxer to my arm switch. And right here, if there was nothing selected, if it said auto, we're just going to make that auxiliary 1. And this is how I do it. You can do it completely different. Now, for my first mode, I like to put angle mode on there because I like to sometimes take off an angle, fly up, full stability, and then switch into acro. So I have my aux2 set to my first flight mode, which is stability mode, otherwise known as angle. When I flip to my second position, you see that gold bar right there move, and now it's in. And right here, if there was nothing selected, if it said auto, we're just going to make that auxiliary 1. And this is how I do it. You can do it completely different. Now, for my first mode, I like to put angle mode on there because I like to sometimes take off an angle, fly up, full stability, and then switch into acro. So I have my aux2 set to my first flight mode, which is stability mode, otherwise known as angle. When I flip to my second position, you see that gold bar right there move, and now it's in kind of no space zone right here. This no space zone, that means that you're in full acro mode with no stability. So it took me a while to figure out when I was a beginner, where is acro mode? Because acro mode doesn't actually exist in this list right here. So it's kind of hiding from you, if you will. Now, if you make your beeper happen on 2, don't put it on 1 because it'll beep as soon as you plug in your quad. But switches are all the way up and away from you. Now let's go down to the motors tab real quick. This is going to be very important for you, and this is what we're talking about as far as prop direction, which prop goes on which motor. And typically they're set up to right turn rear. That's the standard type of quad setup. But in my case, if you look on the screen right here, it's a props out configuration. And what we mean by props out is that they turn outwards from the quad on the front of the quad. So that's what we call props out. A lot of quads do start to have this configuration on there. So the back right motor is going to turn to the left. Okay. And the way that we're going to test this before you do your first flight test is that you're going to take that piece of painter's tape now and go ahead and take a piece of it. We're going to plug in a battery. Okay. And this gives you a visual. Okay, you could unplug Betaflight before you do that, plug in the cable again, and now we're connected to the radio, and you can hear my beeper there. And I can go down to the motors tab, and now I can test my motor direction. Now, what we're doing is we're going to put a piece of tape on the very top of this motor, this right motor.
Any tape? Do I even have tape? I don't think I have tape. Ow. I have tape. I'll use tinfoil. Oh. Tinfoil. It's not doing anything. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And we're going to do each individual motor. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Motor direction. You made a little piece of tape. You made a flag on it. Just take one long piece, bend it around the motor stem right here. Make yourself a flag. Now we're just going to barely turn on each motor. So the way we do that is we go down to check I understand the risks. We're going to arm these motors now. And in this menu right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, this first motor will be motor number 1. You can see this up here. There's a 1000 here. And if I just slightly bring this up, you should see that motor spin up, and your little tape flag is going to move around, hopefully to the left. If that is wrong, we will need to switch that motor direction, okay? And we can do that inside the BL Heli configurator.
So that's 3.
BL Heli 32 configurator, most likely for you. And that looks like it's rotating in the right direction. You're going to do that for each motor. You're going to put a piece of tape on there. I have also used like a little tiny 3-inch prop on a 5-inch quad like this. I'll take this off and just barely lightly put it on there. And I've also done this method as well outside, leaving that prop on very loose. I will momentarily.
Grammarly helps me get the best grades possible while depleting the least amount of hours of my week. I'm Lauren Taylor.
Arm the flight controller, arm the quad. So you have to be unplugged from Betaflight to be able to arm it. And just momentarily arming it, and it will make that prop spin around in a certain direction. Whichever direction it comes to a stop, that's the direction that it's rotating to. I don't recommend that for beginners. Direction. Momentarily leaving that. You're going to do that for each. We will need to switch that motor direction, okay? And we can do that inside the BL Heli configurator, BL Heli 32 configurator, most likely for you. And that looks like it's rotating in the right direction. You're going to do that for each motor.
That's 3? Bro, what? That's M1. 3 is supposed to be over here? Bro, what? No way. Oh my god, bro. No way, bro. I have it on the wrong side. I'm so done. I have to undo the motors right now, bro. I'm not doing that. There's no way to just flip it in the software. Are you kidding me? Reorder motors. What do you mean click on the spinning motors? None of them are spinning. Oh, it has no battery power. There you go. So one. All right. We might be good. We might be good. I think you could just do it from the app. You don't have to actually take it off. Whew. You scared me, bro. I thought I had to undo all of the screws, bro. That was the hardest part, I swear. But now it's spinning in the wrong direction. 3 is in the right direction. What's that, 2? 2 is in the right direction. 3 is in the right direction. 2 is in the right direction. 4. 4 and 1 aren't in the right direction. So we're spinning that way. I need to spin the other way. Yeah. Don't piss me off, bro. All right, now we're good. So how about 1? Spinning in the wrong direction. All right, cool. So 1 is in the right direction. 3, are you good? 3 is in the right direction. Is 2 in the right direction? Yep, 2's in the right direction. Cool. How about 4? Yep. All right, cool. So we might be good. Hey, it's working. It's spinning,
I
man.
have also used like a little tiny 3-inch prop on a 5-inch quad like this. I'll take direction, whichever direction it comes to a stop. That's the direction that it's rotating to. I don't rec. You can add all types of things here. You can grab on things, and you can drag and drop. It's pretty intuitive. So you can put things that everything is visible on the screen, all the things that you loaded for your particular OSD. Now, right now, it's set to HD because this is a DJI O3 module, and I have my unit set to Imperial. That's a United States standard. You can do British or metric, and again, it's set to HD. Now, if you're doing analog, you want to take it off HD and put it to NTSC or PAL. Most times, people are setting it to auto, and that will change the whole look of this screen. See how much bigger everything gets? Now that's an analog screen setup. Before we do that, and actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's do a dump first. We're gonna do a dump first, and one of the things that is valuable about a dump is that we can save all of these settings that we just did to the computer. So we're gonna go ahead and type in dump, and then you're gonna see all the values come on the screen from what we've just done. So we're gonna save that to a file. Go over to the bottom right and save to file, and go ahead and save that somewhere on your computer where you know where to find it later. So now we have a backup of all the things that we just did. So if you ever had to reflash your firmware, you could copy and paste it from the text file, drop it into the CLI, paste, and then hit return, and then type in save.
Yeah, we might be cooking, bro.
Hit return again, and it will apply it to your flight controller. So that's a nice option for backing up your files. So usually when I have a quad, that's what I do each time. The basic information of what firmware is currently on this flight controller. Now, if you need to, or if you get, sometimes unplug the cable, and what you're going to do is you're going to hold down your boot button on your flight controller here to all the way down through all these different flight controller firmwares. So that's just a shortcut for you. Type in iFlight, it's Blitz right there. Now we're going to go down here to the right, flash what firmware is currently on. Paste, and then hit return, and then type in save at the very end, and hit return again, and it will apply it to your flight controller. So that's a nice option for backing up your files. So usually when I have a quad, that's what I do each time that I set up a new quad. Now, if you want to see what version it is, we can type in the word version here, hit return, and now we see we have Betaflight AT32 F435G on there, and that's Betaflight 4.50 August 10th, 2023.
Damn, I need to update.
And it should show me a little more information there with the board manufacturer. The board name is the iFlight Blitz F435. So that is the version, the flight controller, and the basic information of what firmware is currently on this flight controller. Now, if you need to reflash your firmware, you're going to go out of Betaflight. This squad's going to reset because we have battery plugged in. You don't need to have a battery plugged in to flash your firmware. So if you're trying to update your firmware, you know, this would be kind of in a last resort, or if you get, sometimes when people get a brand new flight controller before they start a build, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to flash that flight controller to the newest version that is available in Betaflight. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to firmware flasher, we're going to unplug the cable, and they have an auto detect on here now, which is pretty cool. So if we plug it in for a sec here, we can go ahead and auto detect. So you see auto detect actually does work. iFlight Blitz F435, that's awesome. Now we can select the current version, which is July 2024. And if you don't want to do it that way, this is pretty nifty. They have a new option to do search. So if I know it's an iFlight flight controller, I can type in iFlight, and that will take me all the way down to the eyes instead of having to scroll all the way down through all these different flight controller firmwares. So that's just a shortcut for you. Type in iFlight, it's Blitz right there. Now we're going to go down here to the right, click load firmware online. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold down your boot button on your flight controller. So that's just a shortcut for you.
What boot button? I don't have one.
It's Blitz right there. Now we're going to go down here to the right, click load firmware online. And what you can type in iFlight. And that will take me all the way down to the eyes instead of having to scroll all the way down through all these different flight controller firmwares. So that's just a shortcut for you. Type in iFlight, it's Blitz right there. Now we're going to go down here to the right, click load firmware online, and different flight controller firmwares. So that's just a shortcut for you. Type in iFlight, it's Blitz right there. Now we're going to go down here to the right, click load firmware online. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold down your boot button on your flight controller, and you're going to plug in your USB cable. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to hit, while holding the boot button, we're going to click Flash Firmware, and that will start the process of flashing the firmware for you. Now, one of the other things that we're going to talk about in this tutorial is RPM filtering and PIDs.
Bro, what? F722 boot button. Which one is the boots button? There's no button on this flight controller. Well, it's already on 4.5.1. Bro, you about to piss me off, bro. Select radio link. Yeah, I ain't doing that, bro. I think it's alright. I don't need to flash it.
Now, most bind and fly quads come with some type of factory PID tune. So go ahead and turn on your radio. And at this point, we're going to plug in a battery. Take your USB cable. Make sure you're on the welcome screen. Plug in the USB cable again here. And we're going to go ahead down to where it says PIDs. Okay, PID tuning. Now, these are the PID profiles that are loaded up on my Nazgul. So I'm just going to leave everything set the same right there. I'm on profile 1, as you see up top. But we're going to go over to filter settings right here. And I did mess around with what you see on the screen right here. And I changed things so that I would get a flag. A caution flag is up in the middle here. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that caution flag in a very easy to understand type of language, because for some reason RPM filtering can get very complicated, and I'm going to try to keep it. Now, when you go out to test fly this quad for the first time, I know a lot of guys just goggle right up and do a test flight, but my best advice to you when you do that test flight is, like I showed you earlier in the modes tab, I set it to angle mode. Put it in angle mode so that it is stable, And after you've checked all your motor directions, you know your props are going the right direction, your axes are all right for your flight controller, your props are on, you're outdoors, you're in a wide open space, you want to get some distance from your quad, get yourself a landing pad, and go ahead and put your quad down, have your battery strapped down on the quad, and go ahead and take off in level flight. Just go up a foot or so, forward, back, left, and right, and then land it. And that's my process every single time with every single new quad. I don't FPV first. I line of sight it first, only a foot or two off the ground, and I put it back down. Now, if you get in trouble, just click this arm switch right here and disarm it, and it will drop that back down to your flight pad. Now, a lot of times, if these motors are wrong, one of the biggest tips I can give you is that if you have a prop on wrong, or you have one of the motors spinning the wrong direction, that throws off the flight controller because it's putting extra dominant force on one side of the quad or the other.
Alright, I think we're good, bro. Let's see if this shit works. So basically what I need to do is set up arm mode. I don't have any cameras or nothing like that, but yeah, arm mode. I gotta see how he set that up again, bro.
And right here, if there was nothing selected, if it said auto, we're just gonna make that auxiliary 1. And this is how I do it. You can do it completely different. Now, for my first mode, I like to put angle mode on there because I like to sometimes take off an angle, fly up, full stability, and then switch modes now. I'm gonna go ahead and get into modes here. Now, usually I like to set this flat switch on my boxer to my arm switch. And right here, if there was nothing selected, if it said auto, we're just gonna make that auxiliary 1. And this is how I do it. You can do it completely different. Now, for my first mode, I like to put angle mode on there. Modes now. We're gonna go ahead and get into modes here now. Usually I like to set this flat switch on my boxer to my arm switch. And right here, if there was nothing selected, if it said auto, we're just gonna make that auxiliary 1. And this is how I do it. You can do it completely different. Now, for my first mode, I like to put angle mode on there because I like to sometimes take off an angle, fly up, full stability, and then switch into acro. So I have my aux2 set to my first flight mode, which is stability mode, otherwise known as angle. When I flip to my second position, you can see that gold bar right there move. And now it's in kind of no space zone right here. This no space zone, that means that you're in full acro mode with no stability. So it took me a while to figure out when I was a beginner, where is acro mode? Because acro mode doesn't actually exist in this list right here. So it's kind of hiding from you, if you will. Now, if you want to add horizon, let's just do this for an example. We'll put aux2 here. And now, if I don't save this, see how it's not going to actually activate. So once we click save, now you see horizon turn gold when I go to my second switch position. Now if I go all the way to position 3 over here on the right, now I'm in acro mode again. And if you want to delete one of your modes, there's a little tiny X over here, click that, and that will delete horizon. Okay, so now we have angle mode, and position 2 and 3, I have acro mode. And that's usually the way I like to do that. Now, failsafe, you can add failsafe on a switch too if you want your quad to drop, if you had a flyaway or something like that. aux3 is over here on my SC switch, and I have aux3 set to beeper. And I usually put it on all the way out on position 3, but if you wanted to, you can slide these bars around, and you can actually make your beeper happen on 2. Don't put it on 1 because it'll beep as soon as you plug in your quad. But switches are all the way up and away from you, and now your beeper's off. And when you plug in a battery, your beeper will be on, and you see that light up. So now the next thing we can put on here if we want to is flip over after crash, which is also turtle mode. I'm going to put that on auxiliary 4, and you should have already set up all your switches for this tutorial, right? So now I'm in aux4, cool. And that's pretty much it for basic Betaflight modes setup. Now let's go down to the motors tab real quick. This is going to be very important for you, and this is what we're talking about as far as
all right, so Let me see. I'm guessing I just put the propellers on in the same direction I see them here. So for example, this is clockwise, this is counterclockwise. So I'd put a counterclockwise uh, propeller here and here, and put a clockwise one here and here. I think we can try that, but if we fly into the wall, I'm gonna be mad. So where are my propellers, bro? All right, I got my props. Let's disconnect this. And I'm gonna fly it in my room, bro. This guy just said don't fly it in your room, but I'm gonna fly it in my room. I'm barely gonna throttle. Like barely. Let's see how that goes. How do I know which one is clockwise and counterclockwise? Huh? How do I know which propeller is clockwise or counterclockwise? Bro, I'm cooked.
C, and today we're going to talk about propeller direction. When installing your propellers or props on your quadcopter, it's important to install them in the correct orientation. The first thing we need to identify on the prop to ensure we are installing it correctly is its top and bottom. The top of the prop almost always has numbers, letters, or other symbols embossed on it. Here are some examples. This is an HQ Juicy J37, and this is a Gemfan Hurricane. Next, we need to identify its leading and trailing edges. The leading edge is usually less sharp and more rounded than the trailing edge, and it will be connected to the top of the mounting hub. The trailing edge is usually sharp and attached to the bottom of the hub. Once you have identified the top, bottom, leading, and trailing edges of your prop, you can need to identify its leading and trailing edges. The leading edge is usually less sharp and more rounded than the trailing edge, and it will be connected to the top of the mounting hub. The trailing edge is usually sharp and attached to the bottom. Once you have it sharp and more rounded than the trailing edge, and need to identify its leading and trailing edges. The leading edge is usually less sharp and more rounded than the trailing edge, and it will be connected to the top of the mounting hub. The trailing edge is usually sharp and attached to the bottom of the hub. Once you have identified the top, bottom, leading, and trailing edges of your prop, you can determine the direction they are intended to spin. The top of the prop should always face the direction of forward flight, and the prop will always be rotating with its leading edge in front. This is the top, this is the leading edge, and this prop will spin in this direction. Now that we know the intended direction that the props should spin, we need to determine where they will mount on the quadcopter. In a normal quadcopter, there are two prop direction configurations that can be used: props in or props out. Props in is also known as regular, and props out is also known as reversed. This diagram shows the two configurations. A very important safety tip is to never have your props installed while checking prop direction, and never have them installed while plugged into a computer and a battery simultaneously. A good way to remember this is 2 out of 3. You can have props and battery, props and USB, or battery and USB, but never all 3 at the same time, and you will be building safely. To verify all your motors are spinning the proper direction, you can use Betaflight to see which direction each motor is spinning. Open Betaflight, plug.
So basically, what I'm hearing is I can come in here and just plug that sucker in, go to motors, and so I need one that spins this way up here, and it's gonna be that guy. What is this? Trying to take one of these. I don't even have cotter pins. This is not gonna be good. This is very unsafe, actually. And this guy's gonna spin that way, right? If I have it oriented right, let's see. Where the motor's at too? Oh, there's no battery. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Alright, so it's spinning in the right direction. Cool. They said not to do that, but I did it. Bro, come on, bro. Alright. The wires aren't even secure, bro. All right, and over here I need one that's going counterclockwise. So that's this one, right? Because the leading edge is that way. And over here I need clockwise, which is this guy, right? Yep. Okay, propellers are on. Now, we need to secure the wires and see if this shit will fly. I think I have some Velcro. I can just use some Velcro straps for that. Oh wait, I didn't even secure my battery, bro. We're cooked. We can't fly because my battery's just dangling. Shit. Do I have Velcro? Need some Velcro. Some cheap ass Velcro. That might not work. It might come loose mid-flight, but I have some. This is crazy. Oh, shit. This is crazy right here, bro. Yeah, this is not safe at all. Like, at all. This is not safe. Let's just see if it goes up, right? That's why we're here, to test. That is so unsecure. Bruh. That is unsecure as hell. Shit. Why, bro? I thought that would work. CG is gonna be so off because the battery is sitting so far back, which is just ridiculous because I don't have Velcro. This is not gonna work at all. There's a 90% chance that battery falls out. There's a 90% chance this drone cuts one of the wiring off. Okay? Because those propellers are mad long. No, bro. I don't even want to. The battery's not secure on there. It's just gonna fall out. So I'm just gonna try to go straight up and down. And I don't even think I secured the propellers on right. Can you even see this? Hold on. I don't know if you can see it. Here. Alright. This is what we're cooking with, bro. I think you're good. Let's go on to bed. Just say fuck it. Turn it on, see what happens, right? Alright. You see that? Nah. Hold on. This could be really bad, bro. This shit catch on fire, it's over. Nah, I'm just gonna put it just a little. I'm gonna give it just a little bit power. Please. I'm more scared of it catching on fire, dude. Whoa. Whoa. Hey, did you see that? I don't want it to take off, bro. Hey, we're spinning, bro. We're spinning, so that's good. But we shorted though. Why is it coming on though? Look at this. We're spinning, bro. We're good. Yeah. Nah, those props are loose, bro. The props are so loose. It's not gonna fly today. It's not gonna fly, bro. The props are so loose. I don't have any I need to buy I need to buy cotter pins. And then hey, it turns though, so that's good. Cotter pins and then what's it called? And then I need to buy some Velcro to actually secure the battery. And like make the wiring nice. And then we might actually go. Hey, that's not bad. It turned on. Without the computer. It turned on. Muy bueno. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that for real. I thought it was not gonna turn on, bro. Yeah. I thought it was not gonna turn on, bro. See? Yeah. Like I can see the props wobbling because it's not secured in there. Damn, bro, get off my shit. But yeah, so basically we just need to secure the prop, secure the battery, secure the wires, and then I'll do a test flight, bro. I thought it was gonna blow up. No, because the battery kept shorting, bro. And that shit can cause a fire. And if your battery, if your LiPo battery catches on fire, you basically just have to run outside and just throw it outside because you can't stop the fire. It sustains itself. So if it catches on fire, basically I just have to run outside, spit it on the floor and let it burn. But yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. I'm happy with that. I'm real happy with that. Not too bad. It did something. It turned on. I'm gonna upload a little video on my Instagram of it turning on. Like, hey, this is over 30 hours of work right there. Yeah, I know lithium fires, bro. They be scary. This is my first time ever even using a lithium battery of any kind. Well, a big lithium battery with 3 cells. So yeah. And that shit burns while I'm not home. It's over. The whole apartment. Yeah, alright, bro. I'm probably gonna head out. And tomorrow I'll probably just, well, I gotta travel on Wednesday. Probably not gonna be here tomorrow. But yeah, we'll see. For sure. And even though you miss it, it's gonna be on my YouTube channel for sure, bro. It's not gonna crash. It's not gonna crash. I believe. We're gonna fly. We're gonna go straight up, straight down. That's a good first test flight. Alright, bro. Take care.